democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah. Come on! Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on. The people's revolution. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah. Come on! Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution. Come on, people. Come on, come on, people. Let's move. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah. Come on! Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on. The people's revolution. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah. Come on! Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution. Come on, come on, people. Let's move. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah. Come on! Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on. The people's revolution. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Want freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah. Come on! Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution. Come on, people. Come on, come on, people. Let's move. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to take a stand, yeah. Come on! Cause this is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. Let's unite and stand for something. This is the revolution, the people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy, and this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on. The people's revolution. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution. People crying out for justice. Some of them crying out for freedom. Want freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy. Now it's time to revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy. And this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution.
Come on, people.
Come on.
Come on, people.
Let's move.
Come on, people.
Come on.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
People crying out for justice.
Some of them crying out for freedom.
Everybody crying out for democracy.
Now it's time to take a stand, yeah.
Come on! Cause this is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution.
Let's unite and stand for something.
This is the revolution. The people's revolution. This is the revolution. I wanna hear everybody sing. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Man and woman sing freedom. Everybody sing freedom. Everybody sing. As we move in this people's revolution, my brothers and sisters, let's all walk together as one. This revolution is about restoring our democracy. And this revolution is about stopping this creeping dictatorship. This is the people's revolution.
Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, people. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
The people's revolution. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The tables are turning, your eyes are opening. Welcome to the revolution. People crying out for justice.
Some of them crying out for freedom.
Want freedom. Everybody crying out for democracy.
have a lady do so. Miss Benjamin, could you come on stage, please?
For Michelle, yeah. For Michelle, for Angie.
All right, okay, all right. Start to feel warm already. Our host, MP, Ms. Michelle Benjamin, MP for Moruga Tableland, MP for Naparima constituency, Mr. Rodney Charles, Chairman of the Princetown Regional Corporation, Mr. Gauri Rupp Narayan, Vice Chairman of the Princetown Regional Corporation and Councillor for the Electoral District of 5th Company, Councillor Rafi Mohammed, Councillor Chris Hussein, Reform Manahambri, Chairman Gauri Rupp Narayan was for New Grant Tableland, Alderman Vashti Suku, other invited guests, I see Mr. Joseph Laurent, Councillor for Moruga. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good night. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Shahid Alaham, no councillor, no MP. And our co-host is Ms. Councillor Shanti Budram, Regional Coordinator for South, UNC South. Pleasant good night again. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste or Sitaram, and we want to welcome you here to this meeting tonight as we pledge our support for the political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. She would be here very shortly. Nevertheless, we have some other speakers on the program that will precede her, so we didn't want to delay and get straight into the program. As we always do, being patriotic citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, it is only appropriate that we start with the rendition of the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago, and it will be followed by a prayer by Mr. Philip Gonzalez. So I ask you all to stand as DJ or PA system Vicar will play for us the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
From the love of a liberty in the voice of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare.
Thank you very much, and remain standing for the opening prayer by Mr. Philip Gonzalez.
Let's all bow our heads, close our eyes. Our gracious Father in heaven, this evening we come before Thee to give Thee thanks and praise for health, strength. And tonight as we come, O Lord, we ask that You will be with every individual here. We ask Thy blessing upon our political leader. We ask Thy blessing upon all members of the head table. We ask Thy blessing upon the congregation tonight. And we pray, O Lord, as we listen to the various speakers and bring out the various issues, we will be well informed as to what we have to do. We pray that You will lead us tonight. We pray, O God, that You will help us to understand clearly that our country is heading to a downward trench, but we can always look up, for there is hope. Help us to realize that tonight. And in so doing, we will bind hearts and hands together and unite to press forward together. Lead us into this meeting, we pray tonight, in no other name but in Your name. This we say, amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gonzalez. You may have your seats, ladies and gentlemen. And before I have my co-host introduce herself, house announcement, in case of emergency, where you would have to go. But first of all, there are some washrooms to my left, and there are some washrooms to the right outside. In event of any emergency, be it fire or anything, the muster point is on the outside through those two exits. What I will advise you to do is to leave your wallets and your purses on your seats and make way to the outside. We have responsible people who will look after those things in case you have to leave. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now ask my co-host, Councillor Shanti Budram, to take the microphone and give you her opening remarks. Councillor Shanti.
Thank you, Mr. Shahid Alaham. Our beloved political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Senior Counsel, and our Member of Parliament for Siparia, members of Parliament who are here tonight, fellow councillors, aldermen, my brothers and sisters here with us tonight and joining us on the World Wide Web across our various social media platforms. Good evening. How are you feeling? Let's make some noise. We have an election to win. Come on, more, better than that. Come on, let me hear you. We have to take back this government. We have to take back this government. Under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, she was our best prime minister in this country. Don't you know that? Well, make some noise for that. You all know that. I stand here tonight, UNC and proud. Are you proud of a member of the UNC? Yes, you are. I stand here as your candidate for the South Regional Rep on the STARS team, led by no other person than Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. One leader, one party. Let the others know that. One leader, one party. Our party is united and strong. We are focused on returning our beloved Trinidad and Tobago to dedicated, caring, people-centered leadership under Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the Prime Minister, a goal which we all shall soon achieve. We are seeing in our land today rising unemployment, rising cost of living. How many women are here tonight? What is the price of a chicken right now? We used to laugh at the Guyanese. Look at the price of a chicken today in Trinidad. $90 for a 4-pound chicken. You can't even cook chicken on a Sunday no more for your family. I see you shaking your head. You see what is happening? That is why we have to get rid of Rowley, wicked P&M government. While Rowley and his band continue their arrogance and uncaring nature, but tonight, I am proud. I am supporting Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the STAR team, and together we will bring back the UNC into government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Shanti Budram. It seems as though you have some fire in your voice, girl. I got to up my tempo a little bit on the side. All right? You mentioned the price of a chicken. You mentioned the bag of feed yet. 200 and change for a bag of feed. And egg gone up too. So you see, brother, my wife just tell me she ain't going to pay no $15 a pound for chicken and $20 to pluck. She prefer buy she own feed and raise she own cook. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, buy all your feed and grow all your chicken. Go local. Grow your own produce. All right? We have land cane gone through. Use the land for agriculture and we will send down the prices. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to introduce to you the opening bowler for today's meeting. And he's come down with pace like fire because you know the opening bowlers, no bowl spin. Rafi and them does bowl spin. This councillor serves the electoral district of St. Julian, Princestown, and the Princestown Regional Corporation as chairman of the Market and Vending Committee. See, we start up market business already. A long-standing member of the United National Congress and a dedicated soldier to the country and the party. Councillor Lakshmi Narayan Ramdan, better known as Nello, continues to stand by and support Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as she leads the STAR team into the 2022 NATEX election. Let us welcome Councillor Lakshmi Nello Narayan Ramdan to the microphone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. You know, when you had to come after this chairman to talk, I mean, it's like coming after a real speaker because he just put you under some real pressure. But anyway, the Honorable Political Leader of the United National Congress, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Members of Parliament, Senators, Councillors, STAR team members and candidates, my brothers and sisters of the United National Congress, good evening. It's a pleasure for me to be here this evening and join this platform, as the chairman would have indicated, coming from the electoral district of St. Julian, Princestown North. And I stand here proud as a UNC member, and on behalf of the burgesses of the electoral district of St. Julian, Princestown North, we endorse the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar as political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. My brothers and sisters, this evening, we are here to ensure that on June 26, we ensure and we encourage every financial member of the United National Congress to go out there and cast their vote. Make sure that we have as much members out there to go and vote. Let us not find any excuses or reasons why we can't go and vote. I want to tell you, we need to send a strong message to this country, letting them know that we of the United National Congress, as one of the most powerful, dynamic, compassionate, and visionary leader in that of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. So once again, my brothers and sisters, tonight is about endorsing and ensuring that we of the United National Congress send that message to the People's National Movement and by extension Trinidad and Tobago, where we all will unite together and ensure that the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar leads this country into government once again. May God continue to bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Well said. Our next speaker is no stranger to this area. Councillor for the Electoral District of Maruga, Joseph Laurent, a young, dedicated soldier of the United National Congress, who has answered the call of our honorable political leader to serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. Joseph can be seen in his electoral district at beach cleanups, in the Maruga Community Mentoring Program, in the Adopt a River program, and he is not afraid to pick up a shovel to fix potholes, which Rowley government just have all over. This is a country with only potholes. Ask Rohan Sinanan what he's doing in this country right now with potholes. Neglected by this uncaring and incompetent Rowley-led government. Councillor Laurent continues to stand by and support Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as she leads the STAR team in the 2022 NATEX elections. Let's welcome Councillor Joseph Laurent.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. To the Honorable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC, Opposition Leader of the United National Congress, Members of Parliament, Senators, NATEX members, and to you, the viewing public online, my UNC family, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, my task this evening is very simple, and that is to endorse the political leader and a team of stars, whom once more, come Sunday, the 26th June, will be leading this great party with your support. And your support, I say, come out the 26th of June. Make sure your family, in terms of the financial members, come out and ensure the vote is there. Because, you know, a number of persons will say, the vote, or she done win already. But this is more than just a vote. It's about sending a strong message to our competitors that we are united and strong going forward. We are united for one common cause, and that is to have Trinidad and Tobago working together again. Representing the Muruga electoral district, a number of persons will know there are a number of challenges. But based on these challenges, we'll be able to overcome them one day at a time, similar to that of the political leader. So I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity to start in a new direction whereby you, as the people, will be able to hold our political leader hand, carrying the mantle so that she will continue to represent you at the level when it comes to great representation, when it comes to proper access roads, when it comes to proper health care. So this is not just about a vote when it comes to having on the 26th of June, but this is a vote for your future and the future of the generation to come. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want to say that this is your time to really stand up in order to stand out. On numerous occasions, you will see the struggles within the Muruga electoral district and other districts, to be exact. But when Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar was there, I think the struggle wasn't anything to talk about. And I know a number of you will know exactly what I'm speaking about. You wouldn't have any issues when it comes to road, no issues when it comes to lack of water, especially in the Barapur area. Because I know when I walk through the Barapur area, I remember hearing Mr. Singh, and he indicated to me, why pay a water bill when you're not receiving water? And a number of you will be able to understand that. And under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, pressure and terms of water, everybody had that. So when you vote on the 26th of June, you vote for stability, you vote for good leadership, and you vote for forward thinking when it comes to ensuring that you have proper representation going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to indicate to you that this is your opportunity to ensure that you continue to uplift the United National Congress as we continue to ensure that the people that we represent is well represented. Based on the limited resources, we must also say, under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, everything was nice. And I know a number of you all will be able to attest to that. Because at the end of the day, you'll be struggling under this PNM government based on lack of resources given to the Princeton Regional Corporation and any other corporations, to be exact. But under Kamla Persad-Bissessar and a team of stars, we'll be able to continue to shine. Shine brightly, ladies and gentlemen. A vote for Kamla Persad-Bissessar and a team of stars is a vote for continued progress. A vote for Kamla Persad-Bissessar and a team of stars is a vote for youth advancement. A vote for Kamla Persad-Bissessar and a team of stars is a vote for steady, stable leadership, ladies and gentlemen. Together, let's keep Trinidad and Tobago moving forward with Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. One team, one leader, one party. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Laurent, Councillor for the Moruga. Ladies and gentlemen, and many of us consider the Moruga, the electoral district of Moruga, a marginal electoral district. And wait not for the individual of a person like Mr. Joseph Laurent. We could not have won that twice consecutively. It demonstrates the quality of councillors we have in the United National Congress and the quality of the person as Mr. Joseph Laurent. And equally, ladies and gentlemen, just on the opposite of Moruga, we have an equally loyal, I always refer to him as the hardest working councillor not in the Princess-Song Regional Corporation, but of the entire Trinidad and Tobago. He is the councillor for the electoral district of 5th Company in the Princess-Song Regional Corporation, a long-standing and dedicated son of the soil, hard-working member of the United National Congress. Councillor Rafi Mohammed continues to stand by and support the Honorable Leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, as she leads the STAR team into the 2022 NATEX election. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the microphone the hardest working councillor, Councillor Rafi Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And in return, I was told to say that Shahid Alaham is the best chairman in Trinidad and Tobago. Put a round of applause for Shahid Alaham, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Political Leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, MP Rodney Charles, my MP, my respected and hard-working Member of Parliament for Naparima, Rodney Charles, ladies and gentlemen. My next MP, the young and energetic Michelle Benjamin, my next MP. I want to recognize MP Dr. Rudal Munilal joining with us today. My chairman, the Princess-Song Regional Corporation, the best chairman within the Princess-Song Regional Corporation and Trinidad and Tobago, the hard-working Councillor Gauri Rupp Narayan. My members of council, the hardest working corporation, I would say, but my members of council who are all seated here today, you will hear from them, ladies and gentlemen. Other members of parliament, senators, loyalists, activists, UNC family, Assalamu alaikum, Sitaram, Namaste, good evening. Good evening. My name is Rafi Mohammed, councillor for the electoral district of 5th Company, and I endorse Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the honorable political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And in case you didn't hear me, I, Rafi Mohammed, councillor for the electoral district of 5th Company, we, 5th Company electoral district, fully endorse Kamla Persad-Bissessar in the upcoming internal elections, next political leader and next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I have been serving since 2005 in the constituency of Naparima. I have served in every portfolio, be it chairman, vice chairman, party organizer, present. So I know about internal elections. electoral district of 5th Company has at least 1,200 members. And when internal elections come around, you will see the hard-working, look, some of them are there. 5th Company, let me hear all you. 5th Company will come out on behalf of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the STAR team, who we endorse fully so as to return this country to a footing when the next general election is called. There will be no doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, this wicked PNM, this corrupted PNM has sunk this country into a deep, dark hole. And the only way we can get out of it is when the next elections is called. After the local, the next general election is called. We return Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the best prime minister this country has ever seen, back to governance. Back to governance. Ladies and gentlemen, the Princeton Regional Corporation, our chairman will tell you, when in 2010 to 2015, yes, it was a good time to be a councillor. Our allocations at the corporation was to be in the vicinity of $110 million. $110 million, and we was to rake and scrape, prioritize with our MPs and special purpose companies to make it work, to bring relief to our businesses. You know now, we are getting $83 million, $30 million less, and there are so much more infrastructure work and development within that we need to take care of. That is this wicked government. They want to spend $100 million for a special purpose road project. Give it to the corporations. We have the labor, we have the resources, we have the technical, and we know what to do. Give it to us, let me work. Ladies and gentlemen, they want to give it to their friends and their financiers. That's why Rocha Douglas Road. We would have paved this road in the People's Parish under PSAEL. You remember that? From then to now, 2015 to now, the Ministry of Works have never done no patching up work there. You call on the businessmen in Barakpur to patch that road. That is the only way we get it done. Self-help. This wicked government has not been fixing the roads in Barakpur. Minister of Works say, hear what he say. The bad roads does not fall under his ministry. Guess what, Minister Sinanan? Rocha Douglas, Ministry of Works. Jai Paulson, Ministry of Works. Kunja Road, Ministry of Works. What are you talking about? They fixed 2 landslips up in our area. I never see they fixing landslip and they're not finishing the project by paving the road. When we ask the question, why not? There was some delinquency with the contract. So you give a contract, we always know, Chairman will tell you, Dr. Munilal, MP will tell you, when you're paving a road and you're fixing a landslip, you fix the road around. We have been seeing in our area that they're not doing that. When you ask the question why, the contractor say he has been, he failed. There wasn't enough money in the contract. Ladies and gentlemen, under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we will see a difference. We will see improvement. We will see the light again in this country. On the 26th, 5th Company coming out, and Moruga Tableland coming out, Naparima coming out. Long live Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Long live the STAR. Long live the United National Congress. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rafi Mohammed. Let me hear you all make some noise. Make some noise. Make some noise. You know this wicked government. They took away the laptops from the children. They took away the baby grants. Under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, mothers were getting 1 year milk to feed their babies. This rowdy government just don't care. He took it away. He took away the Children Life Fund. How many children have died for the past 7 years? He took it away, everything. He took away the grants, and now you cannot get nothing in this country. He took away the GATE program. You know, last week I saw the mayor Port of Spain. And the police looking for a gate in town. Somebody took away the gate from the square too. They're gone with the gate. I should tell you how rowdy. I tell them, go by the PNM, you will find a gate. Councillor Thailand Farrell of the Princestown Regional Corporation has followed in the footsteps of the Honorable Michelle Benjamin to represent the electoral district of Hindustan St. Mary. He is focused and dedicated to youth development and culture in the Princestown region. Councillor Thailand Farrell continues to stand by and support Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as she leads the star team in the 2022 NATEX election. Let's put our hands together and welcome Councillor Thailand Farrell.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, for such a wonderful introduction. A pleasant good night to all distinguished guests. Make it work, man. A special good night to the UNC political leader, the Honorable Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. On behalf of the UNC party and myself, I would like to welcome you all today in discussing some of the issues that I have faced as councillor for the Hindustan St. Mary's constituency. Firstly, I would like to begin with the alarming number of landslides in the electoral district. There are approximately 40 landslides currently that have not received any assistance from this PNM government. These landslides have caused significant destruction and havoc to many communities. Despite our meeting through calls, meetings, and letters, no help was given financially to rectify these burning issues. I have received numerous cries of help from constituents for aid in these matters. Lack of employment leads to many disadvantages, such as increase in crime within the communities. I know this party can create solutions to these problems once we are returned to the government. The government has only been working against the population and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to take this time to commend the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar on the distinguished job that she performs as opposition leader despite all the challenges the party has faced. As a result, I together with the constituents will fully endorse the candidacy of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the next political leader of our esteemed party. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Farrell, Councillor for Hindustan St. Mary's. Ladies and gentlemen, when Councillor Rafi spoke just now about roads, I was wondering if Mr. Charles had a hand in getting the contractor to fix that Trinidad Hill. They take the little part that was good, right, and they make it worse than the hill. So we can't pass there at all. They say they're only working in night, and when night comes, they're resting. That is like a bokas. I pass through right now, I want 2 shockhead. We have any parts people inside there? 2 wing road shockhead. All right? Shaz, you say? All right. So, Councillor Charles, MP Charles, I know that is in your constituency, but that is the bokas. That is the king of bokas. Trinidad, you know, Trinidad have all these superlatives. All right? And one of the superlatives we have to describe Trinidad: worst roads, most criminals, most corrupt. We have all these superlatives. And you will go on to get the most, and what we could have, the best opposition. But we don't want to stay there too long. We want to go on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my duty to welcome the first woman speaker for tonight. All the women serving as councillor, and now all the women in the Princestown Regional Corporation. Her training in disaster risk management for the Caribbean and incident command centers has ideally poised her as the chairman of the Disaster Management Committee at the Princestown Regional Corporation to ensure effective planning and relief at times of disaster. And when we talk about disaster, we know in Barakpo and the other areas, when the rain set up, the river does come. And when it starts to drizzle, it's flood. All right, Rafi, where you live in don't have flood, but just down the hill does have, or across the road, and just after me. Barakpo is one of the most flood-prone areas in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are very happy that Councillor and Alderwoman Vashti Suku is in charge of this section in the Princeton Regional Corporation. She continues to stand by and support the honorable political leader of the United National Congress and will continue to support the star team for the 2022 NATEX election. Let's welcome to the microphone Alderwoman, former Councillor Vashti Suku.
Thank you. Good. Yes. Good night to the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Let's hear it for her. To MPs of the head table, Member of Parliament for Naparima, Honorable Rodney Charles, Member of Parliament for Rupuchis, Dr. Rudal Munilal. I see Member of Parliament for Maruga Tableland, Ms. Michelle Benjamin. I'm seeing the Chief Whip in Parliament, Dr. David Lee, Mr. Obika, former Senator. All protocols observed. To my chairman, Councillor Gauri Rupp Narayan, to the members of council of the Princeton Regional Corporation, the best run corporation in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's hear it for them. Give them a round of applause. We have listened to all the speakers so far. Under the leadership of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar from 2010 to 2015, this country saw prosperity and progress. All of us would have benefited from the different grants, for the different provision that was made through her cabinet for us to grow and for our family to benefit through education, through the housing grant, the baby grant, the laptop for school children, physical infrastructure by development of major roads and highways, and to the corporation, giving them funding so that could do all the corporation roads. Yes, this was development, this was prosperity under the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister of this country. But between 2010 and 2015, when a disaster took place, that is landslip, fire, and so on, that would destroy people's home, within 7 days of application for a disaster grant, the United National Congress would have approved and issued checks to the homes, to the owners of the property under the Kamla Persad-Bissessar government. Today, from 2016 to now, we have people waiting, people who lost their homes to fire and so on, waiting over all these number of years. Some of my councillors have people waiting 4 and 5 years for self-help, the Self-Help Commission to approve fire victims grant or disaster victims grant. Under this Rowley-led government, they have totally failed our people. Our people are suffering. You would hear our two chairpersons speak about the price of food and the price of chicken today. Under the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, over 7,000 food items at the groceries was exempted for VAT. You all remember that? Do you all remember that? What happens when we go to the grocery today? We are suffering. All of us are suffering when we have to make our purchases. This evening, I stand here proud as a member of the United National Congress, as a member who supports the Honorable Leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I'm here to endorse the STAR team led by the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Come June 26, let us return this present executive led by the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar back as the leadership of the United National Congress and onto government in the next election come 2025 or whenever Rowley call it, because he's afraid to call it right now. So I ask of you to come out and support our STAR team come 26th of June 2022. Thank you all for coming out this evening. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alderman Vashti Suku. Let's hear the bellman. Are you in the house? Let's hear your bellman. Make some noise. Councillor Chris ushered a young, dynamic councillor representing the electoral district of Reform Manahambri in the Princestown Regional Corporation. His passion for people and politics led him to be selected as the youth parliamentarian for the constituency of Naparima in 2010. His love for children and compassion for the downtrodden in society pushed him to be the founder of Project REACH, a non-governmental organization geared towards helping the less fortunate in the society. In 2013, he went on to become the youngest individual to serve on a state board when he was appointed as a director. Councillor Chris Ashad Hussein continues to stand by and support Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as she leads the STAR team in the 2022 NATEX election. Let's put our hands together and welcome Councillor Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the indomitable fighting spirit, the leader of the Shanti Brigade. Please put your hands together. Give them a round of applause. Political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar of Senior Council, members of Parliament, Chairman of the Princestown Regional Corporation, Councillor Gauri Rupp Narayan, members of Council, members of the National Executive, members of the winning STAR team, but most importantly tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the membership of the United National Congress, good evening. Before I begin my conversation with you this evening, I'd like to jump straight to the point. Let me say very clearly that I, Chris Arshad Hussein, stand strongly behind Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the next political leader of the United National Congress. And let me also say that the district of Reform Manahambri is ready and waiting to vote resoundingly on June 26th for Mrs. Persad-Bissessar and the STAR team. Brothers and sisters, these UNC internal elections that we are engaged in at this point in time, they are not only important to our party, they are also important to our country. Because what happens in the UNC directly affects Trinidad and Tobago. And as you know, elections have consequences. And you know that because right now, we are facing some of the worst consequences of the last general election. We need a leadership in the UNC who can fight for us every day. We need sound leadership who can take the fight to Keith Rowley and the PNM. And who better to fight than a fighter? Who better to care than a mother? Who better to seek your children's educational interest than a teacher? Who better to uphold and defend our Constitution than a learned senior counsel? Brothers and sisters, tonight I ask, who better to lead the UNC than Kamla Persad-Bissessar? I've heard recently that some folks are suggesting that they share the leadership. And I listen to it and I try to understand it very genuinely. But what does that even mean? The UNC leadership is not like a piece of roti. You can't break it and share it. No. The UNC's leadership must consolidate the party's efforts inside and outside of the parliament. We must have an equal fight to take that fight to the PNM on the pavement, as Dr. Munilal will tell you, and inside the parliament as well. And tonight I want to tell you that we have that leader in the person of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Every single day, the UNC is fighting for you, inside and outside of the parliament. But do you understand what our MPs face when they go inside that parliament? Do you know that when they go inside there, they feel the full brunt of the PNM contempt? When you have our own MP here in Naparima, Mr. Charles, stand up, and he stands up to them very bravely, and you have other MPs like MP Khadija and MP Michelle and Dr. Munilal and so on, when they stand up to the PNM, they are always shut down by a very biased House Speaker. So inside of that parliament, brothers and sisters, it is one rule for them and one rule for the UNC. Our members are silenced every time they try to speak up on your behalf. I don't know if you had a chance to see the Newsday today. But the Newsday today shows that a court of law in this country has ruled against a sitting government minister who sought to muzzle the opposition when we try to speak out on corruption. If you had a look at it, the front page of our Newsday today says, UNC can speak. UNC can speak. And I think we have some very good speakers in the UNC, and you'll hear a lot of them tonight. Well, I would really love if somebody, anybody, I will give you my copy of this newspaper. Somebody could take this copy of the newspaper, frame it, and send it to the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives and let her know that the UNC can speak. It takes a court of law in Trinidad and Tobago to tell you that the UNC can speak. Do not silence us. Let her for once put away her Balize bias. The Red House may be red, but it is not Balize House. It is not the PNM stomping grounds. The parliament is supposed to be the seat of democracy, and the opposition is not a rubber stamp. It is an important check and balance on the government. And what the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the PNM is doing is subverting democracy itself. But notwithstanding that, brothers and sisters, outside of the parliament, the UNC has been championing every cause. And they have been calling out the PNM on their corruption and their never-ending list of scandals. We have seen our UNC sister, Senator Jayanti, mashing up Foster Cummings like Chili Bibi. Mashing up Foster Cummings like Chili Bibi. We have seen the political leader of our party, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, taking on the Attorney General for what we can only describe as a crying shame. I think this is the first ever junior-senior council or something like that, a kind of hybrid thing. The first ever junior-senior we have in this country, and maybe, dare I say it, in the world. Found lying in the US court. A man who is a senior counsel sacrificing his reputation on the altar of PNM expediency in this country. And had it not been for Kamla Persad-Bissessar, brothers and sisters, this would have been another PNM scandal that has been swept under the rug. How many scandals do you know that Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the UNC have brought to the forefront? Do you remember fake oil? Do you remember the Daryl Smith allegations? Do you remember roaming Shamfa and the $1 million paintings? Do you remember those? These, brothers and sisters, are robbing our country and the citizens of what we really deserve. But again, elections have consequences. So when you drop in a pothole thinking you might end up in China, remember, elections have consequences. When you cannot get a bed or medicine in your hospitals, remember, elections have consequences. When you see crime being rampant in this country with no hope of any resolve, remember, elections have consequences. When you cannot afford food because of high inflation, remember, elections have consequences. When you are crying at the pump because gas is at an all-time high, remember, elections have consequences. When your children cannot have access to tertiary education because the GATE program is being stifled, remember, elections have consequences. Brothers and sisters, tonight I tell you, through thick and thin, Kamla Persad-Bissessar has continuously stood up for you, for all of us, and she will continue to stand up for us. But now is the time that we must stand by her side. We must be a united force of strength behind her to topple the PNM regime for the sake of our country and our future. That process has begun, and it starts with resoundingly re-electing Kamla Persad-Bissessar as political leader of the United National Congress on the 26th of June. Brothers and sisters, we stand ready to stand in defense of our democracy, stand behind Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Long live the United National Congress. Long live Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and long live the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Councillor Chris Hussein. Very vocal there on some of the topical issues haunting us right here in Trinidad and Tobago. And I did not recognize my good friend, MP for Urupuch East, Dr. Rudal Munilal at the head table, and he's accompanied next to him by MP Anita Haynes, MP for Tabakik. Welcome, sir, and welcome, ma'am. Mr. Charles, you could have given a little choke and see the people in here. All right. And we're moving on as all the previous speakers that preceded this point in time were councillors of the Princetown Regional Corporation. And you will realize that they are under the stewardship of a chairman. And for them to produce, it's not that the chairman is like a slave master or something like that. All right, he just has to, indicate to them his task and they would perform. He is the chairman of the Princetown Regional Corporation and serves the electoral district of New Grand Tableland. In his second term as chairman, this councillor continues to be guided by the instructions of the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, issued to all representatives of the United National Congress. And what is that mantra? Serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. Chairman Gauri Rupp Narayan continues to stand by and support the honorable leader as she leads her star team into the 2022 NATEX election. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome the chairman of Princetown Regional Corporation, one of the best chairmen to have passed through that regional corporation. Put your hands together. We're not on Mastana Bahar, but let's put your hands together to welcome Chairman Gauri Rupp Narayan.
Thank you, Chairman. Leader of the Opposition and political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, members of Parliament, my councillors, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good night to you all. I stand here before you to endorse the star team led by the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her team, the team that will take us into the next government whensoever a general election is called in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2010, when Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar became political leader of the United National Congress, she had a vision for this country, and she demonstrated that from 2010 to 2015. But you know what? Some people wanted a little more, and because of that, we are now suffering. We are suffering under the hands of the PNM. But we have that opportunity once more to choose a team that will take us back into that government. And when you look at the team that Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar have put in place, when you look at her deputy political leaders, Dr. Rudal Munilal, Mrs. Jerlene John, and the Member for Parliament for Pointe-à-Pied, Mr. David Lee, these people are committed to support a leader, to unite a party, to make sure that we take government to take us out of this country, the mess that we're in this country. We can remember Dr. Rudal Munilal taking on a prime minister in 1995. That is the kind of strength of people that she have on her team. That is the kind of strength of people that we will have to ensure that we see government in Trinidad and Tobago. So when people are now complaining and talking about they have lists, but they don't have no contact number, in 2010, Kamla Persad-Bissessar had no contact number, but she had the love, she had the vision for this country, and that is what the membership buy into. They had that faith into her, and she demonstrated that faith when she went into government. That is what we have to go back to ensure that we receive good government in this country. I urge the people of Naparima, of Princestown and Maruga Tablan on 26th of June, let's come out. Let us give 3,000 votes. We want 1,000 votes from every constituency, and it means if the mandate that we was given by our campaign manager to bring out those votes, we will be able to give Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the STAR team 3,000 votes within the region of Princestown. So I am calling on my councillors, the membership, the executive of these constituency, let us work together to ensure that we is part of that team, and we is not a team who, when you hear someone who campaigning for political leader is saying now that people looking for seat. In 2010, when I supported Kamla Bissessar, she had no seat to give because she was no political leader, she was no leader of the opposition. But I supported her because I put country first before myself. And I know that when I supported her, what we was going to benefit, not only me, but the people of New Grand Tablan, the people of the constituency of Princestown. So I urge my colleagues in the region of Princestown, let us unite.
On my right, no other person than the roaring lion himself, Dr. Rudal Munilal, who will be going up as a deputy political leader in the STAR team. In our audience, MP David Lee, who also will be going up for the deputy political post in the STAR team. Young and vibrant Nicholas Morris, our international affairs officer. Put your hands together for some of our STAR team members who are here this evening. I also would like to recognize in the audience councillors from the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation, councillors from the Pinal Debe Regional Corporation, councillors from the Siparia Regional Corporation, councillors from the Mayaro Regional Corporation, and of course councillors from the Princestown Regional Corporation. All are supporting Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the STAR team, and soon we will go back into government, soon. Tonight, as I introduce this person, former Senator Tahaka Obika, a NATEX candidate for the Tobago Regional Coordinator, and he will bring home those Tobago seats for us. A brilliant and dedicated young son of our land has continuously demonstrated his love for the founding principles of the United National Congress to ensure equity and equality of all members of our society. This is what the United National Congress does. Equality for all, unlike the PNM. They only look after them self, friends, and finances. In 2002, Tahaka took up a teaching post in the Elizabeth's College in Tobago, where he taught maths and economics. He went on to pursue a Bachelor of Science degree in economics at the University of the West Indies. He has served as an economist in the Ministry of Trade, followed by a posting to the Division of Finance at the Tobago House of Assembly. So you see why he's going up as a Tobago regional rep? In 2015, Tahaka obtained a Master's of Business Administration in Finance in Ghana, where he worked as an executive assistant to the Director of African Operations of the Republic in Ghana. In 2017, Tahaka Obika returned to Trinidad and Tobago, where upon the invitation of Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the leader of the UNC, he became a senator in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago for the United National Congress, dedicated to the rebuilding and restoration of Trinidad and Tobago. Former Senator and NATEX candidate for Tobago Regional Coordinator, Tahaka Obika, continues to stand by and support Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as she leads the star team in the 2022 NATEX elections. Let's welcome Tahaka Obika.
Good evening, Maruga Table, and good evening. You feeling good? Say yeah, yeah? All right. Good evening to our Honorable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar of Senior Council, the next Political Leader of the United National Congress, and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, of course, we have a star-studded team. We have 3 Deputy Political Leader candidates, of course, Dr. Rudal Munilal, Dr. David Lee, and Senator Jolene John. We are a team not only to lead the UNC, but to rescue Trinidad and Tobago. To rescue Trinidad and Tobago from what each and every family is experiencing under Keith Rowley. Now, in 2017, Kamla Persad-Bissessar gave a then 34-year-old myself an opportunity to be a senator. And of the laundry list of things that our South Regional Coordinator identified from my CV, I got an opportunity to use that as a senator in our nation's parliament. But what we are seeing something happening this week across the country. We're seeing thousands of young people gathering in Napa, in Sapa, and in Tobago, desperate to find jobs, because under this government, over 100,000 people have lost their jobs in 7 years. And of course, they come to pat themselves on the back because a cruise line giving 2,000 people some jobs. But this is the same government that closed down the hotel school in Chaguaramas. I was a lecturer in economics at the hotel school, and the hotel school would have prepared these same young people to be managers in the cruise lines, to be mixologists, to be chefs. But without access to educational opportunities in tourism for the past 4 years, these young people will be only able to get the positions of servants, the lowest level positions. Now, this PNM government has demonstrated by their actions that they simply do not care about the young people in this country. Access to education. The same issue with tourism and the young people. I saw a young person from right in Maruga Table and saying that they were in front Sapa since 3 o'clock in the morning looking for opportunity. Under Kamla Persad-Bissessar, the GATE program was wide open. Over 2/3 of our young people got access to tertiary level education right here in Maruga Table, and they shut down the National Energy Skills Center. And when we ask the PNM why they closed it down, they say they ain't got enough people applying. They don't care. They don't care if your children don't get jobs. Once it's not their children. Once them children good, them good. Now, of course, we all know that this government has abandoned its responsibility on the economy, just as they have abandoned the responsibility on the road to Barrackpore and to Maruga Tableland. And I experienced it firsthand. This is the worst main road in the country. And of course, if there was any other reason for you to support Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the STAR team, is the activism that you get in Parliament every single week. Now, this is at a time, joblessness, poor roads, poor healthcare, at a time when this government, for the first half of this year, has gotten an additional $1 billion every single month. In fact, Coleman Booth found it was so good, he came to the Parliament a month and a half ago to spend an extra $3 billion. How much of that found its way into your households in Maruga Tableland? Any of it? Any of it? Of course. Because you are not part of the friends, family and finances of the PNM. Nothing will find its way by you. Now, on the issue of Tobago, yes, I served as an economist and as a teacher in Tobago. And the role of the UNC in Tobago is to form a strong relationship with our brothers and sisters in Tobago. The PNM has been evicted from Tobago. Keith Rowley went from Mason Hall to Whitehall. They kick him out of Mason Hall. That is why he only in Whitehall. And after the next general election, he'll be finding himself in Diego Martin. Because we, the people in Trinidad, have a job to do. So as the Tobago Regional Coordinator, I will be ensuring that our relationship with our brothers and sisters in Tobago is strong, so that the party has a good footing to get rid of the PNM. We have one common political enemy, and that is the Keith Rowley PNM. And until we get rid of the Keith Rowley PNM from office, you shall know no good development and peace in Trinidad and Tobago. And as I close, on the 26th of June, every card-carrying member of the United National Congress should find their way to the polls in your constituency and vote resoundingly for the STAR team. And don't listen to the detractors. Do not listen to the detractors at all. But the greatest detractor is not outside. The greatest detractor is in the mind. And as in that great Nile Valley. Excuse if someone can look at the brother. Is there a doctor in the house? All right, because I know emotions run high in political meetings. So if there's a doctor in the house, please check on the brother. So, as the great Nile Valley saying regarding doubts, my father had it over the bedroom, the living room door. Man, know thyself. Our doubts are traitors. So don't listen to self-doubt. Do not listen to self-doubt. There is no room in this struggle for doubting ourselves. We are strong and we are confident that we will, once we do the hard work that we are doing and we continue to do, and we band together as one, UNC and proud, we will get rid of the Keith Rowley PNM and reinstall good governance in Trinidad and Tobago under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Very fiery there indeed. Just a little house announcement. We're looking for if there is any medical doctor. We need some attention to someone there. Any doctor in the house? No doctor? Dr. Boni? Boni, see if you could attend to that patient there. All right, so we don't have any doctors. Nurse? No nurse? Oh, we only had Dr. Munilal. All right, he said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to, we were told that the, I nearly said Prime Minister, the political leader is almost here, so we need to cut down the little introduction. But I just want to mention two things that Mr. Gauri Rupp Narayan, as chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, the tremendous input that he and his vice chairman and councillors are making towards the Muslim cemetery in Douglas Road. I want you to give them a round of applause. Chairman Gauri is not a Muslim, and the kind of input he is making, I doubt if somebody, the chairman was a Muslim, he's making more than Rafi. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to recognize my colleague in the audience, Ms. Usha Rampasad, a senior Usha, and also I want to recognize the host and hostess of this venue. They always give us it free of charge when we have. Ladies and gentlemen, give Caroline and Vicar a round of applause. So Dr. Munilal, I was asked to circumcise my introduction, so I will just, not you yet. So, very briefly, the affable, the lovable. All right, I understand that the honorable political leader is here. All right, could we all stand, please? She come in there. I guess she come in here. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome the honorable political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, to our cottage meeting here this afternoon as she makes her way through the audience. I know she would have loved to touch everyone, but because of the COVID protocol, you will get a little elbow here and there.
Never been someone shy until I seen your eyes. Still I had to try. Yeah. Oh yes. Let me get my words right and then approach you. Woman, I'll treat you like a man is supposed to. You'll never have to cry. No. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone.
Very humble.
She's royal, yeah, so royal, and I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen. She's a queen. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen. She's a queen. And when they ask what
You may have your seats. You may have your seats, Madam Political Leader, and I know you leave the best for the last. So give me the last elbow. Thank you very much, and we know her time is limited, so we just like to move on. As we said, we're trying to circumcise the introduction a little bit. So I will now present to you the MP for Tabakit, the lovable, the affable, the beautiful, Miss Anita Haynes.
Thank you. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone here in Vicar's Ranch. I am so happy to be here yet again, celebrating with you as we welcome our political leader today, tomorrow, on the 26th and on the 27th of June going forward. Good evening to my colleagues, my parliamentary colleagues at the head table, to the councillors and aldermen, local government representatives all, to our NATEX colleagues, to the PRO. Good night to all of my UNC family. Like I said, I am happy to be here, and I am also extremely happy on behalf of the constituency of Tabakit and on behalf of myself, to endorse Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the political leader of the United National Congress and the STAR team. We have heard a lot tonight about what these internal elections mean to us and what it means for the country at large. But I want to pay special tribute to all of you who are in this room tonight. The activists, the bloodline, the engine room of the United National Congress. Give yourself a round of applause. We have spent from the end of 2019, all of 2020, 2021 with the COVID pandemic. We have been told to separate, we have been told to social distance, we have been kept apart. And you have held us as a party together, and for that you deserve all of the credit in the world. And so as we move forward to an internal election, and as we move forward to selecting not just the leadership of the United National Congress, but the leadership of Trinidad and Tobago as we go forward, I say to you, we are doing the important work for this nation. And when people come to campaign and suggest, what is the opposition doing? Where is the opposition? You will recall that we just recently had to protest against rising gas prices. When you looked around, you saw the faces in this room, because these are the people who care about you and care about your dollars and cents, and these are the people who will make a difference in your life. But the people who are on TV and on the radio, when it is time to walk, when it is time to find the votes in a general election, they are missing, they are absent. But when we are here today saying as a party that united we stand against the People's National Movement, united we will stand strong, and united we will go into government, I want you to remember something. As we sit here today and we prepare for our internal elections, we are one party, united under one leader. And that is the space that will take us into government. And once we are in government, you will see what you saw between 2010 and 2015. You will see development. You will see hope for the future. You will see laptops for your children. You will see opportunities, you will see things developing and improving. Because what we've had in the last 7 years is nothing short of an absolute disaster. Imagine 2 weeks ago, the Minister of Finance told us that everything is good in this country. The Minister of Energy was on TV saying, on CNN, saying we are living a good life here. And yesterday, 2 days ago, we are seeing thousands of Trinidadians lining up to leave here. That could never be a good life. So I say to you, as we prepare for an internal election, you are preparing the engine room of the party for a general election. The work that we are doing this month will take us into the next month, and it will take us into government. So I endorse Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and on the 26th, show the support of the UNC, show the strength of the membership as we come out to re-elect Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as leader. Thank you.
Put your hands together again for MP Anita Haynes. This MP needs no set of big introduction. He is your Member of Parliament for Naparima. And he stands and supports Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar as she leads the STAR team in the 2022 NATEX elections. Let's put our hands together and welcome Honorable Rodney Charles.
My job is simple tonight. My job is to stand up here and let you know, if you didn't know before, that we support Kamla Persad-Bissessar as leader of this great party. And we from Naparima, executive, our constituents, want to tell the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, don't come by us to talk about any foolishness about supporting anybody else but Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I want to apologize, I don't have a yellow shirt on. And the reason I went to a funeral earlier today for a friend of mine who died. But I want to tell you that even though my color is not yellow outside, inside, I am 100% United National Congress. I want to also tell you something that you're going to hear talk about mashing up our party. Have you heard that talk? And you hear, we want to tell them, we want to tell that we are one party with one leader going up for one election on the 26th of June. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. The ladies, I want to tell you, you have plenty power. Right? You have plenty power. Now, if your husband don't come out of it, well, my wife, there's a couch. Someday you sleep somewhere else. This is serious business. We are on the 26th not only fighting an internal election, we are fighting an election that will determine the future of Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to tell you that they are looking on at us. And if we give a small number, if 24,000 is not the number we're looking for, we need to send shivers in the bones of the People's National Movement. Let them see strength, let them see resolution, and let them see determination to win this election. So I don't have to tell you more. I could tell you that Dr. Rowley is taking our country down a road of hell and perdition. I could tell you that last week we went in Parliament to pass legislation to bring in people from the Caribbean. Now, get me correct. My mother was born in Barbados. She came to Trinidad when she was age 4. I have Caribbean blood in my veins. But you cannot have inviting people when our people don't have work. We have 2,000 citizens lining up in the rain, some going to Tobago to get a job on a boat. And while we have no jobs for our citizens, you are inviting people. And this time, we are saying it may be, you will do it at another time. We could do it when Kamla Persad-Bissessar comes into power. She restores the economy. She creates 50,000 jobs. And we take care of our own. And then we take care of others. I made the point that there was a time when my children were in university and abroad in Canada, and I had to sacrifice and send my entire salary to them because they would call me and say, Daddy, the landlord is putting us out because the money didn't arrive. And friends will want to come at my home and drink champagne and Hennessy brandy and whiskey, and I tell them, not now. I have to see about my children. And Kamla is telling us, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar, forgive me, right? Mrs. Persad-Bissessar is telling us, she has to deal with our concerns. She has to restore our education system. She has to provide jobs for us. Ladies and gentlemen, just hear this. Just hear this. 2 nights ago, I'm listening on the BBC News because they have a thing in the United States. They're making a presentation about what took place some months ago, probably a year, in terms of the raid on the Capitol building. And I saw on the ticker tape that refineries are making a mint right now because of the high price of gasoline. They are making 5 times the profit they were making before. So hear what? if our refinery was functioning today, we would have been sitting pretty. Our children would have been getting money. And let me tell you, how did they don't see head. I'm ashamed to say. I will use the parliamentary term. They are mentally challenged. They closed down a refinery and didn't factor in the spin-off effects. So today, NIS they're telling us we have to retire at a later age because NIS does not have money. Why it doesn't have money? Among other things, the closure of Petrotrin meant about 7,000 people are no longer contributing to NIS. So you see why we need the star team. You see why we need Kamla Persad-Bissessar. You see? So ladies and gentlemen, as I wind up time, and you want to hear the leader, you don't want to hear me, I want you to enforce, let us see your support. And I want you, by a show of hands, to raise your hands and say, on the 26th of June, you will come out in your numbers to support Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. When I was in school, they said England expects every man to do his duty. And I'm saying to you that Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the slate and the leadership of the party expects every one of you to do your duty. Do not get sidetracked with foolish talk. Do not get set up with dotish talk. Come out on that day, focus on what you have to do, and elect the star team to governance and leadership in Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Very vibrant as always. But Mr. Charles, can I tell me a little bit about succession planning? When you finish, who you want to replace you as the MP or rapper? All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to move on with the program very quickly. And as I said, I was asked to circumcise all the paraphernalia with the introduction. But this gentleman, I must say 2 words. I've known him for quite a while, and he's the roaring lion and never wake a sleeping lion. When he's sleeping, he could attack. Far less when he waking. The man is a versatile man. All you ever hear him sing? The man is a singer. His wife is a singer. His son coming to my school is a singer. And even his sewing machine is a singer too. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage the Lion of the United National Congress, Dr. Rudal Munilal.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Alaham, I got a message a few minutes ago. My son is watching this feed on the Facebook. He said he's very excited to see sir, because I'm the principal of his school. I had to tell him, I said, your father talking here too, Political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and Dr. Gauri Rupp Narayan, parliamentary colleagues, members of the star team, members of the executive of the constituencies in these areas, brothers and sisters, supporters of the United National Congress, assembled in your hundreds tonight in Barrackpore, those listening on the radio, on the Facebook, on the social media throughout Trinidad and Tobago and the wider region. It's a great pleasure to be here in Barrackpore and in these facilities. The last time I came here was at a wedding, and the good news is the people still married. So this is a blessed venue, and this team is a blessed team that will take the United National Congress further. Brothers and sisters, many of you in these areas will know that I spent some very nice memories here as a child. My sister, deceased now, was married in 1975 around there in Barrackpore, High Road. And I spent a lot of time as a child in these areas. So I'm always happy to be here to share with you the people in Barrackpore and surrounding districts and to really reminisce of some great times. The first time I ever went and see an English picture was in a cinema called Tyrell Cinema in Barrackpore, I never even know picture used to be in English. So it's always great to be here, and tonight is a special occasion to speak in support of a great team, of a great leader. I want to make just 2 points in the few minutes I have, and the first is really to make a connection. What really is the purpose? How voting in an internal election of one party is important for your country, for you, for your community. I think it was Councillor Chris Ashad Hussein earlier made that connection, and I just want to deepen it a bit. People will say, but what we about? We putting on clothes Saturday night, it's rain, it's dark, it's dew, and you coming out in the night here, and you're coming down in Barrackport to attend meetings and things, man. This is an internal business. We're not fighting really to June 26, the PNM or national election and so on. But I want to remind you that a strong UNC is a strong Trinidad and Tobago. And a compassionate UNC under Kamla Persad-Bissessar is a compassionate Trinidad and Tobago. So, when you, the people in Barrackpore and other areas, require goods and services, what do you really want? You want water, you want electricity, huh? You want jobs for your children, you want your roads fixed. That is connected to the internal elections. Because when you vote the right team, the right people, we go on and we attain power and office, and then we work to deliver goods and services to you, the people in these communities. So don't underestimate the importance of internal elections. Strong party gives you strong representation, gives you strong government, and that delivers goods and services. I coming up to Barrackport tonight. Listen, man, there was a time in this country when you see a pothole, right? You dodge the pothole and you go on the next side and you drive. Today the pothole overlap. There is overlap is pothole meeting pothole. That not pothole, that bandara pothole. That big pothole, the whole country like that. A pothole gobble up a car a few days ago. You all saw the picture. That is the nature of this thing going on. Rohan Sinanan is a complete waste of time with Rowley. They closed down the refinery. They have no bitumen, and now they can't even fix pothole on the road. It is a disaster in the night. You are driving without street lights on the road. You dodge to avoid one pothole, you hit a car. You run off the road. That is where this country is, and we have to fix that. We were proud when we were in office under Mrs. Persad-Bissessar to be called, what were they call us? The box drain government. Because they say we only making box drain. We were doing much more, but by doing box drains and drainage projects, we were preventing flooding. We were preventing these potholes. We were preventing the vehicles from running off the road. That is very important to prevent flooding, inconvenience, loss of money and so on. So the internal elections is important. I think it was another councillor, Rafi Mohammed, when he spoke earlier. He said this government want to take $100 million to start a new company to fix secondary road, while the local government has the resources to do it. Do you remember when we were in office? We provided resources to local government, whether it's in Pinal Debe, Arima, Point Fortin, San Fernando, Couva. We gave them the resources so that they can fix the road, fix the drains, provide electricity, street light and so on in your communities. Today that is all gone, but you see them always have bubble in the head. Them have bubble from the head to the big toe. It's bubble. They want to start a next company so they could give all the partners contract to pave road. I want in a few minutes, I want tonight to just raise one matter with you, and I will tell you why this PNM must go and why we must return Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her star team. And on election day, June 26, you vote for every single member of the star team. Everyone, not one, not two. All 18 you must vote for. There are people contesting and so on, you know. I have to hold back myself, political leader, you know, you have to hold me back from talking about them, because I know you told us not to go on here and talk about these people and so on. But one fella jump up, he said we should share the leadership. A fella jump up, he said he was running for political, he wants share leadership. But I understand that. Nobody, I don't fight that, because he does share personality. So, he does share personality So he won't share leadership too. Next one running for election officer, they want to change, But why you didn't run for political leader? If you want change, you should have run for political leader. So brothers and sisters, let me leave them alone and come back to the point. This PNM administration, you know, a few days ago, I have the facts here and I'll speak more in detail in the coming days. They were paving a road in San Fernando. I don't know if you all know Coffee Street. They have a place called Royal Road. That is where the restaurant Sung's is, that road there. Not big project. You know what happened? It is being done under the Rural Development Company of the Ministry of Local Government, I believe. And they are so much into bubble. We are told, and tonight I want to ask the Chief Executive Officer, somebody by the name of Jason Kisoon. I want to ask him if he is aware that an official of the Rural Development Company went to all the contractors who bid in, and he given out the engineer's estimate. They're sharing the engineer's estimate as if it's doubles. They give out the engineer's estimate to the bidders. When the bids come in now, every man down they have where's the engineer estimate. Some of you in these things know that when the engineer estimate, for example, let me use the real figure, if they estimate 4.1 million, they will look for 15% between that, and they assess. One man came in the lowest. I ain't ready to call name yet, but I have every name. Rest assured. I ain't ready yet. One man came in the lowest. He ain't get no contract. That is fraud. That is corruption. That is a breach of procurement. The lowest didn't get it. The fella who come in higher now, but closer to the engineer mark, he get it. You know what he do? And next fella who bid and come in the lowest, he said, come. I can't really pave this road, you know. You pave it for me now. So a subcontractor paved the road valued at, let's say, 4.1 million. A subcontractor do it for 2.8 million. And the man who win the contract, he win it at 3.8 million. He make $1 million overnight doing nothing. That is what they do. That is what they do. Bid rigging, insider information, giving out engineer estimate. When we were running EMBDC, we paved road right through the Caroni roads, which was the mandate of the EMBDC. Rowley come, he said, what all you paving road for? Millions of dollars. They want to dig up all the road. They bring a man from England. He come down Barakpo and he bring a shovel and he start digging up. He want to know how much sand and gravel in the road. 8 years later, he digging up the road. Well, I want to tell Rowley, go by Royal Road now and dig up the road. Because in the estimates and in the technical planning for that road, they said they will use 3 inches of asphalt. I am told it's 1.5 inch of asphalt on that road. So you see how they save the money? They made an inferior road, sub-quality, that will mash up again and again, but a partner gone with $1 million overnight. That is PNM governance. That is PNM governance, brothers and sisters, and that is why we need to get the hell out of there, Rowley. He need to get out. He need to get out, brothers and sisters, and soon. So in closing, I want to wind up because we really are excited to hear the political leader. But to tell you that on June 26, don't take on people who pagal and thing, Don't take on no pagal people and thing. You come out, wake up early, bring out the family with their nice UNC cards and make sure they're on the list and so on. Bring them to the polling station, wherever that will be, you will know that. And make sure they make a strong vote for the entire slate. We have people like Ravi Ratiram. He's a child of the UNC, has made major sacrifices for this party. He is contesting the position of party organizer, and we want to ensure he has maximum support. Brothers and sisters, we have a brother from Diego Martin, Don Sylvester. He's running for a position. We want to ensure he's a hard-working soldier, stalwart of the party. A man who turned night into day to work for this party. In the most difficult times, Don Sylvester stood tall for the UNC. You must come out and ensure you vote for him. And anybody running against Don, you must say, well, them done. Okay? And we have, of course, the political leader. I don't have to tell you what to do there. I think she's running against 2 people. Yeah, 2 people, split leadership. So you have to come out, vote by the thousands and thousands and ensure that we have the largest turnout ever in an internal election in Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters, this is not an issue of rebuilding. I hear people using the term, we want to rebuild the party. We want to build back. We want to do this. For years now, this party operating as one of the most vibrant political parties in the Caribbean. In Caribbean politics, when election done, party just go to sleep. Party just go to sleep and wake up next 5 years. In this country, the UNC, not today, I telling you, years, if you look at it, man, it's Sunday morning press conference, Monday night meeting, Thursday press conference, Wednesday press conference, Parliament. We have exposed them on fake oil, on the Daryl harassment matter, on the OS matter, on the Shanghai Central Block matter, on the regional, what he name, Amor matter. That fella, that today there was a rumor that he resigned. That was a rumor. I thought the fella had at least a little bit of sense. But he waiting for the Miami police to talk to him. He is waiting to be interviewed by the Miami-Dade County Sheriff, which will come to see him very soon to ask him about that perjury in a Florida court. That, I'm told, is a federal offense. So, Mr. Amor, if you know what's good for you, you get out of there immediately. Immediately. The fella say he take a vow of silence. He ain't talking. You know when a man don't talk? When he can't convince you that he's right, and when he don't want to admit that he's wrong. You stay quiet. And that is the Attorney General. He has brought shame and disgrace, but you'll hear more about him in the coming days. So thank you all. Have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to your deep support come June 26th. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Good night, Murga Tableland. We could do better than that for the Royal Lion. Good night, Princess Tong. Good night, Naparima. So the time has far gone. So I want to use my time to call MP Barry to the stage, MP Rodney Charles, MP Anita Haynes, the Royal Lion, because I want the general public to see how strong Kamla Persad-Bissessar team is, and that all these constituency is standing behind her. Our duty here today is to endorse the STAR team. So we're going to stand behind the honorable political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. So I'm inviting all my parliamentary colleagues and all the MPs that are seated in the audience, if you could join me here on stage. But I was asked, Dr. Lee, all my parliamentary colleagues, everybody could join me on stage, Mr. Ratiram, as we introduce the honorable political leader. And as they take the time to come here, I want to raise some issues. Murga Tableland, how long does it take to pave a main road? $178 million. We're waiting 5 years to see our main road paved. Started in 2017, and yet we're still waiting. We have a fishing port that would have started in 2018. Today we're still waiting. I was told by a birdie that the project has stopped, that the contractor took the funds and has left the site. So I'm asking the Honorable Minister to give some answers concerning that fishing port. We had a massive protest here on the Rocha Douglas Road, and to date, our main road remained the same. Right? So my colleagues are here with me. So I would like to take this opportunity, everybody stand as we bring to this podium the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar, our next political leader and our next Prime Minister. Just how right? So as I was saying, our next Prime Minister, just how Murga Tableland left the poles of the PNL, Trinidad and Tobago is fed up. We are saying enough is enough. We are saying it's time. We are saying it's time to return this country to good governance. And we know the only person that could do that is under the leadership of Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. We know what is good living. We would have experienced our children in school. We would have experienced no violence. We know what it is to go in the market. We know what it is to go in the supermarket and be able to purchase. We had purchasing power. Today, this government has reduced our purchasing power. You would have heard my colleagues talk about the massive job recruitment fear that this government has shamed our young people into going. One of those young ladies came from my constituency, and she went and she stayed outside there only to be turned away. And that is evident of what is happening on the ground. It is not people leaving their jobs to go these fairs. I am telling them that the unemployment rate is extremely high. In Murga Tableland, the unemployment rate is over, I would say 10,000 plus. We have young people exiting school and no jobs. We have an infrastructure that is deteriorating daily. Why? Because this government is not funding the different sectors, not funding the ministries. They are starving everyone. They are starving the population. And we are here tonight to say enough is enough. I am a woman that cares for my people, for my constituency. I am here to tell you that every MP that represents the United National Congress, that represents you, fight tirelessly in that parliament chambers. We fight for you. I am here to tell you that any initiative you see an opposition MP do, it is out of their pocket and love for their constituents, because we don't get funding from this wicked PNM government. But under the leadership of Ms. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, we saw development. And you know the nice thing about the United National Congress? We don't fix one constituency, we fix all. But underneath this government, we see victimization. We know the bitter taste, and I'll say the bitter taste of bondage, because they only do for their friends, family, and financiers. So we need to tell them, come down from there. And that is what we are here to do. We need to forget the little squabble we had between neighbors. We need to forget all about that and bind together. I am calling all UNC foot soldiers. Forget, let us heal, and let us unite. The common enemies, the PNM. Let us remove them, because until we do, the sufferation will not stop. When would we bind together? And this is the only leader that can do it. The Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I take guidance from the good Lord and from my leader. I know when I was elected as a councillor in 2016, she said, Miss Benjamin, your mandate is to serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. I remember getting a call, 4 o'clock in the morning, Miss Benjamin, where are you? Rain is falling. Barford is flooding. I am coming down number 2 junction. Put on a tall boots and meet me there. Now that is the leader that we have. She don't stay in Whitehall. She don't neglect, but she comes down and she meets you at your level. So we need to go out there and put her back. We need to forget all the naysayers. As former Senator Tahaka would have said, we need to come together as a people. We need to come together as a party. We are here. This is UNC, and we are UNC, and we are proud. And we are ready to do what? Fight. And I am proud to be among you. I'm proud to represent you. And I'm proud to serve under the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And it is my pleasure. I don't want to rob the chairman of the introduction that he had, because I know he have a long script. So I'll allow him to come and give 1 minute of that script. Exactly 1 minute. To introduce our honorable political leader.
Thank you very much, Ms. Benjamin. one of the hardest working MPs in the party right now, and representing the constituency of Moruga Tableland. You know, it's not on the script, but Madam Political Leader, I took some positive out of that verbal spat there before you could have said Jack Robinson. I didn't know you had such a beautiful middle name, Sushila. Ladies and gentlemen, coming out of that, and before you had said the Fatel Razak, we knew what it was. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Honorable Political Leader. In 2010, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar was magnetic in uniting the political forces of Trinidad and Tobago, and she wished to bring prosperity to all the people of this beloved land. Leadership of the United National Congress in January 2010, and immediately called on all to unite. And I could go on and on and on. You all know everything about this very lovely Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Ladies and gentlemen, let's
That's fine. Hello everyone, good evening. No, I can't hear you. UNC family, good evening. I am not going off because you're telling me about Kamla, it's night. But I was taught in school that first when you arrive, you say good evening. And then when you're leaving, you say good night. So good evening, UNC family. I'm very happy to join you here at Vicar's. This venue is not a strange place to us. We have held many meetings at this venue. So let's thank Vickers for allowing us the use of the facility. And I want to recognize the Peppermouth MP for Princestown, Barry Padarath. I want to recognize, oh gosh, Rodney boy, I don't know what word to name Rodney Charles. But that man is like a Rottweiler in the parliament. He will not give them a rest. So let's give it up to Rodney Charles. And the meek and mild, but very charming and delightful, beautiful MP Anita Haynes. Sorry, Rudy, I can't call you any of those words. I think David Lee gave you the right name, the Master Blaster, Rudal Munilal. And in the audience with us, I think, is MP David Lee. We learned some Chinese names. Last time David Lee spoke, we learned some Chinese names himself and his family and so on. Thank you, David Lee, our Chief Whip in the Parliament. Give it up for David Lee, please. In the audience, MP Ratiram, our party organizer. Someone gave me a joke recently about Ravi. Ravi has been in this party as long as I can remember, maybe even before me. But Ravi, as a young student in university and so on, Ravi would come to meetings. He will pack up the chairs, he'd pick up the garbage, he'd do all these things. And they said to him, but wait now. Everybody started to pick up chair and clean up the place because next thing he'll become an MP. That's what Ravi has been a soldier and a child of the UNC. And we thank him for that support throughout. And with me as well tonight is our Tobago rep, because Tahaka worked in Tobago, former senator, who stands proudly by the name Tahaka Obika. Give her a round of applause. And how can I forget my daughter? Last time I called somebody daughter, they get in trouble, but this time, I don't think there's any trouble to come from Moruga Tableland MP Michelle Benjamin. Also a child of the UNC. Like me, she began in local government, and then she's now an MP. And when we form the next government, she'll be a minister in the next government of Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you all, people of Princestown, of Moruga Tableland, of Naparima, and others who are here tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for coming out in your numbers. It's always so wonderful within the past week or two to see you face to face. We were always behind the screen. I think that fellow, what's his name? Keith Christopher Rowley, I think is his name. One night he doesn't know what to say about Kamla again. He has to blame Kamla in every meeting, you know. So he goes on the platform, he says every Monday night, Kamla puts on her makeup and put on her dress and goes behind a screen. Well, I'm proud every Monday, as Rudy told you. We do. Every Monday we do our virtual reports. That way we kept in touch with you even though we couldn't come and touch you in flesh. But we were there on that platform every Monday night, reporting to you and raising issues. And I want to recognize the councillors who are here with us tonight, wonderful, hard-working councillors. I see with me Councillor Meru, Councillor Chris, Chairman of Princestown, Gauri Rupp Narayan. I think Councillor Kimmy is somewhere. I think I saw Councillor Sean. Sean, are you here? Sean Premchand. Any other councillors who are here tonight? Mohini, Councillor Mohini. Okay, Councillor Nicholas Kana is with us too. And Councillor Kemaraj is also here. Councillor Ravi, will stand up so we can see you. Rafi, 5th company man. Thank you. We have the other councillors, please stand. Let's welcome the councillors from the Princeton Corporation, the Olaman, Gonzal, Nello, Thailand. And is Joseph here? Laurent, where is he? Raise your hand, Joseph. Thank you so much. And I want to recognize tonight, maybe I don't always do it, and I told our deputy leader, Gillian John, this morning, maybe I don't take the time. Maybe I never told you as often as I should have how important you are and the great job you do. I want to recognize our PRO, Kirk Magley. He's always out there batting whenever, however. And from the Kuva Maki Talparo, Angie Benjamin, all the one. Thank you very much. So I'm not going to keep you much longer. You've been here for a time. And there are many things I would say, but tonight I call upon Mi Amo, Attorney General Amo, resign now. If you have any shred of honesty and decency and integrity, resign now. You must go now. You must go now. Can you imagine the scandal it is when you have your Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago lying in an affidavit in a court in Miami? Therefore, all trust and confidence in justice is gone. When you have an AG who will lie on oath, sign his name, lie, well, you really deserve to be a junior lawyer. He lied and he told the court he was a junior note-taker. He lied and lied and lied, and now he says he takes a vow of silence. I say, shut up, be silent, and just go. Amo, go. Go and go now. Go, just go. If it's one thing you can do for your country, Mr. Amo, is to resign now. But I'm told he cannot resign now because according to our constitution, the government is constituted with 2 offices. 1, the Prime Minister, and 2, the AG. But the Prime Minister is vacationing somewhere in California. So he doesn't have a Prime Minister to give the resignation to. So if you're holding back, you could still send it to him. We have things we call email. Rowley's a famous email gate man. You all remember that? Send him an email. Not a fake email, just send the email. Resign now. And that's the only thing I think tonight is of the greatest importance. for our country, to restore honor and justice and confidence in the administration of justice in Trinidad and Tobago. We will write, and we have already drafted letters, I will write to the Privy Council. We will write to the Caribbean Court of Justice. We will write to the Florida Bar Association in the United States. We will write to the Trinidad and Tobago Law Association condemning your lying, corrupt behavior. Why? For what? For what? To eat a food, to hold a job? You got this job less than 3 months on the first big case you have. What you did? You lied in a courthouse. There's a name for that, you know. It's called perjury. I had dubbed this PNM government, PNM, Pedophile National Movement. Today, I say PNM, Perjury National Movement. They all lie. They all lie. Every one of them. I congratulate my sister-in-law, Senator Shanti Lakshmi Narayan. Give her a round of applause. She's not here tonight. But as Chris Sam told you, UNC can speak. Headline in the newsday today, because Foster went to court to stop the UNC from talking, stop Shanti from speaking about alleged corrupt behavior. And the court said, no, 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 no. This is fair comment. You can't be in public life. You can't hide behind a veil of privacy. You are in public life. And therefore the UNC can speak when it is justified, and those allegations were very justified. Shanti, congratulations, I say to you guys. So I take a moment. On Monday, our next meeting is on Monday, or virtual, Mr. Rowley. I'll put on my makeup and I'll put on my dress. And I'll be on the platform. Kamla Persad-Bissessar. UNC and proud. And so let me introduce our team, our star team tonight. Well, I see Greg looking a little sad. Can I recognize my husband, Dr. Bissessar? It's so nice that we can come out and meet with you. We used to do it in the past, and then, as I say, with the lockdown, we had to stay away. So I'm very happy to have him here. And let me introduce our team, our star team. Others have spoken to you about the importance of the internal election. I think I recognize what Dr. Munilal said, because I was here when he was speaking. But before I do that, we have a team from the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation. Can we recognize the councillors who are here? And they have a T-shirt, which they had long ago, and it has a star on it, which is a total support of the star team that I want to recognize and introduce. So, in the position of Deputy Political Leader, Jalen John. My sister JJ has a track record of management and excellence for over 25 years. She was a former UNC minister. One of you all remember that. Under Mr. Pandey, she was a former Minister of Transport, Tourism and Tobago Affairs. She's a former Managing Director of the HDC. She was Chairman of UDICOT and the CEO of Pizza Boys at different times, all these positions. She is a Chartered Accountant by profession, Certified Professional Accountant, Certified Management Accountant. Of course, we know her as a dynamic firebrand, JJ herself. Recognize her, and we welcome on the team as Deputy Political Leader on the 26th. MP David Lee, also for Deputy Political Leader. We see David Lee in the Parliament, he battles with them, he says, Leader, I'm the only one who has to sit down in my seat. Everybody else can get up and walk out and come back and go and come. But he has to stay, because that's the job of the Chief Whip. You must stay there and wield the whip, yes. So he has over 30 years in the corporate world and finance. He has significant experience. He worked at the Central Bank of TNT. He's a former chairman of the MIC. He was a former chairman of the UNC previously, and now he's serving his second term as the MP for Pointe-a-Pierre. He's our opposition chief whip, our deputy leader on the 26th, Mr. MP David Lee. Our third deputy leader, and can I tell you, when we were revising the party's constitution, I recommended to Mr. Pandey then, I was a little peewat in those days, and I recommended, and they took my advice, we should not have one deputy leader, we should have 3. And you know why? You want me to tell you why? The reason is this. Because when you have 3 deputy leaders, they hold up the leadership. You have 3 strong persons, male or female, to hold up the leadership. If you have 1 deputy leader, then that deputy feel better, this lady did. That's a joke, they don't think that. But as it is, if you have 1, the competition is too extreme. But if you have the 3 persons, they will hold hands, join together and band together with the leadership. Because if you do not have leadership, you will not have a strong party. And so I'm very happy to welcome on our team, our star team, a former deputy leader of the party, our first youth officer of the UNC, Dr. Rudal Munilal. Former Minister of Housing, former leader of government business. He holds a BSc in government studies. He holds a doctorate in development studies. And guess what? On the eve of the 2010 election, this man, became a lawyer. So he's also an attorney at law. Dr. Rudal Munilal, Member of Parliament. Oropuch East has over 20 years of experience in the Parliament. So we have those with experience, we have those with age, we have those with beauty. So let's move along now. Chairman, not you, Rudy. Not you, Rudy, sorry. I think you'll be offended if I said you had beauty, but you are a handsome fellow, so don't worry. So we have as a chairman, MP Dave Tanku. He's a stalwart in the UNC. He's our former General Secretary. He's a qualified senior economist, and he also qualified as a lawyer. I think many people follow in my footsteps. And young Councillor Chris, I know you're studying law, I know you have exams, I'm happy you could come tonight, but stay home and study and pass those law exams. The more lawyers we have, the better. All good people, all. MP Tanku is the MP for Oropuch West, and he served as our former chairman and will return on the 26th as chairman. Let's get to the beauty now. The amazing giant of an Amazon woman. I think you know who that is in our parliament. None other than MP Khadija Amin. She is a child of the UNC. She got locked up because she protested when she was a councillor. At early age, this girl got locked up because of protests for people, on behalf of people, defending our party. She became a councillor at the age of 21. That's why I say to all the local government people, Ravi is one, you are one, Michelle is another, Vandana, and myself, I came from an alderman in the Den St. Patrick Council. From the local government ranks, you can rise and become an MP as well and a member of the government. So Khadija is a child of the UNC, as I say. She grew up, and last night I said it in the meeting we had, and I said, you know, we have now, the PNM always had children of the PNM, remember? They always had grandchildren. They had great-grandchildren. Our party is so great here, this year celebrated over 30 years, that we now have children of the UNC, we have grandchildren, and we have great-grandchildren of the UNC. And that is where Khadija stands in our institution as a party. I also want to pay tribute to our Policy and Strategy Officer, Attorney at Law Sean Sobers. You remember him? Brilliant young lawyer. He graduated from the University of London. He's a defender of our rights. He served in our Senate, in our Parliament, and he serves from time to time. He was our general election candidate in San Fernando West. Whatever happened, happened. Things happen, it happened. It is what it is. But the next time round, Sean will bring home San Fernando West for us. Still on to beauty. Our education officer, young MP Vandana Mohit, the MP for Chaguanas West. Vandana became the youngest mayor, UNC, but the youngest in the country in our history. Vandana Mohit was the youngest mayor. Now she sits in our parliament. So let's give our votes on the 26th, Vandana. Our research officer, who has been doing research for us for a long time now, for the party, for the parliament. Another lawyer. Now, don't think I'm just biased with lawyers, but lawyers make good politicians as well. So if you are aspiring to be a good politician, you could be an accountant, you could be whatever, study some law on the side, because a nation is governed by its laws. And that is where a fellow who is, Michelle, our friend. Yeah. Okay, sure. A person who wants to run to be the leader of our party is telling us, all right, I'm not against Kamla. Keep Kamla as the leader in the opposition in the parliament. But I want to be the leader of the party. So we leave these persons in the parliament and vote for me to be leader of the UNC. Has no understanding whatsoever of the law of Trinidad and Tobago. Because the law of our land is you must be an MP before you can become opposition leader. You must be an MP before you can become what? Prime Minister. And that's where we're headed next. We will take back governments, we'll take back the country, and we'll take governance away. So here we have our research officer, young brilliant lawyer, Saddam Hussein, who has really earned his stripes in and outside of the parliament. Our education election officer, a stalwart of our party from Diego Martin, he is, Don Sylvester. Give it up for Don. Don was serving in the UNC before many of you were born. He has been a stalwart of our party. He has never wavered. And I ask you on the 26th, come out, put your X next to Don Sylvester, next to the star, the election officer. For treasurer is Neil Gosain. He's a successful businessman in the insurance industry for over 20 years. He's a fellow of the Chartered Management Institute. He's a former chairman of National Petroleum, NP. In those days, NP was really National Petroleum. Now it's nothing, because now we import everything. We do nothing. Thanks to the rowdy, wicked regime shutting down Petrotrin, you also in effect shut down National Petroleum, which would do the marketing of our petroleum products. Neil Gosain was our former chairman there, and he served as a coordinator. I ask you on the 26th of June to vote for Neil Gosain as treasurer. International Relations Officer, Wilfred Nicholas Morris, a young, bright stalwart of our party. He is indeed one of our longest serving youth officers. He served as youth officer of our party from 2011 to 2015. And then he passed the age, so he moved on. He's a former Commonwealth Youth Ambassador. He represented Trinidad and Tobago at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meetings in 2011 and 2013. This is Wilfred Nicholas Morris, International Relations Officer. For party organizer is none other than MP Ravi Ratiram. Ravi also holds a BSc in engineering, and he holds an MBA, Masters in Business Administration from Ruskin University. I've spoken of him earlier, but give it up for Ravi on the 26th. Our South Regional Coordinator, another beauty, but a warrior and a fighter. Give it up for Shanti Budram of the Shanti Brigade. We all know Shanti, in the South especially, but the Shanti Brigade, yes, thank you. The Shanti Brigade, serving as our coordinator for the South for several years. So on the 26th, for Shanti Budram as South Regional Coordinator. Entering the executive of our party for the first time is our Central Regional Coordinator, is none other than the Peppermouth MP Barry Padarat. He was a former chairman of the UWI Guild, Students Guild. He holds a bachelor's in government and international relations. He has a postgrad degree in communications. He holds a diploma in law. But we know him fondly as Peppermint Barry. Welcome him on the 26th. Our Northwest Regional Coordinator, Eli Zakur. Our party is diverse. Here, every creed and every race finds an equal place. So Eli Zakur will represent us as Northwest Coordinator. He's a successful businessman. He has 20 years of management experience and has served on several boards. Our Northeast Regional Coordinator, a former Member of Parliament, a former Minister of Government, and now the guy fondly known as Spoke, Anil Roberts, Regional Coordinator, Northeastern. Tobago Regional Coordinator, holding a Bachelor of Science in Economics, holding a Master's in Business Administration and Finance. He has served as a teacher in Tobago, and he has experience in the international banking sector. Former UNC Senator Tahaka Obika as Tobago Regional Coordinator. I shared this with you, and whilst we say when you go to vote, all you want to do is look for the, look for what? Put your X next to the star. But we must know who are the stars on the team. And these are the 17 stars I've named for you tonight and shared some of their history with you. And when you go out, the 18th star will be the first one you will find. It will be Kamla Persad-Bissessar as political leader. I want to thank you all very much. Have a great evening. Please go home safe, and we shall meet again on Monday or virtual at Ram Prasad Building. And on Wednesday, someone remind, where are we? Makule Community Center on Wednesday as we continue meetings of the STAR team. God bless you all and thank you. And remember, you have had leaders before me. You will have leaders after me. But you will never, ever, ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. I thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Just take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. We have some good news for you. I just want to share the news, but before I do that, I want to thank the Honorable Leader, all the MPs. I saw MP Rudal Munilal, Rodney Charles, Michelle Benjamin, Barry Padarat, David Lee, Anita Haynes, all the councillors, regional corporation, organizers, decorators, etc., etc. Just the good news is that we have some doubles and corn soup on the outside. So when you're leaving, please ensure you have been sitting there for a while. Hot soup and doubles. I see the lineup there already, like they anticipated that. So ladies and gentlemen, again, I want to thank each and every one, you the supporters who came out, the decorators, the organizers, etc. And Ms. Persad-Bissessar, some people would like to meet you. I see the Muslim Cemetery Committee. They just wanted to chat with you for 2 minutes, and I think there are some others. All right, so we don't want to rush her. Give her some chance. And I also see the chairman of the Penal Debe Regional Corporation here, my colleague Usha, principal of Debe Hindu, and all the others. We want to thank you again. Wish you a pleasant good night. As we say, Adabals, Kuda Hafiz, Fil Malinge.